Here we go. Welcome back to my life with plants. I'm going to introduce you to Hoodia. And if you don't know what a Hoodia is, it is this magnificent looking desert plant that has these very white protruding spines coming out of raised bumps on the epidermis, which are modified leaves that have become thorns when they initially come out on this top here. We will check this one. When they do initially come out, they are still tough and hard, which is surprising. But the whole body is covered all the way down to the trunk, where some of them have fallen off. And down at the bottom here, it is beginning to get woody. This plant has produced this stem during the summer, but overall it has three larger stems branching off from a main. It is put on nearly 3 inches of growth in one growth season. And this plant, believe it or not, is not a cactus. It's part of the succulent family. Hoodia is part of the Apocynaceae family, Stapelias, even the plant I showed in the previous video, the Sinenchum, Sarapegias, a lot of leafy, dry, desert-growing species that are found in Mexico and North America. Very widespread family of plants. This particular plant, the Hoodia, is well known for its so-called appetite suppressant properties, but only one test has been done on a single person, so it is very left out in the open of debate whether these plants really suppress your appetite or not, or if it's just a placebo, is that what you call it? Anyway, this plant has this bluish green tint to it. It germinates as seed that are in big seed pods that are long, and they split open, and their seed is airborne on fluffy, on fluff that kind of reminds you of a dandelion when you blow it, except they're even more fluffy than that. And when the seed pod opens, it is distributed almost entirely by wind or airborne. So not distributed by so much animals, but by the wind. This plant germinates usually under shrubs where it needs protection, but plants can survive well out in the open in the Kalahari Desert, which is a desert that kind of is, from memory, it is northwest South Africa, and it stretches into Namibia. These plants have many species within they have a lot of varieties, within the species, and one of the largest growing ones is parviflora, which can be up to 2 meters high. This particular one is a hybrid Hoodia goldii crossed with Jatai. One of these parents is a yellow flowering one, and the other one is also one that will have rather large, papery, dinner plate shaped pinkish blooms that are very stinky and attract flies. Quite offensive, so I don't know what kind of flowers to expect. I've had this plant for 7 or 8 years now. I always doubted if I could grow one. I kind of would put it outside and wonder if it would survive or not, and every year it was just a trial and error. But from my experience growing a Hoodia, they love tropical weather. So if you have a lot of humid tropical summer with humidity in the 80s or even 85%, occasionally 90%, this plant will thrive in that. It likes a lot of sunshine, but on the downside, if it's cloudy, overcast, it can handle that too. Needs a lot of airflow and can put up with a lot of heat. So this Hoodia is actually sometimes tougher than a lot of my cacti out there. And it is very tough even with direct sun. I've never had it get any burns on it, even though I have had burns on my cacti and I've had to cover them up because they show it with white patches. Well, the epidermis will start to wrinkle and go white, which is a sign of burning. This plant doesn't seem to succumb to that. I keep it out there on the balcony with no particular cover or anything, and it likes regular water when it dries out. However, it is not so cold hardy, but I wouldn't want to put this to the test because I might lose it, so I've always brought it indoors. It has started to grow much more vigorously since I have just put it out there, watered it and not try to shelter it so much. It is quite the hardy plant in my conditions. However, I do not know how this will perform in a mild climate. You would just have to give it a try. Its latest growth down here came out a little bit wonky, as you can see. But I'm sure that will clear up in time. It does have some scarring on the side there that it will recover from. That could be the telltale signs of it reaching its limit of endurance against the heat, to which temperatures got over 35 degrees. We had some days there that had 37. And at that time I had to throw a nylon net over that knocked back the sunlight 30% or so. Kind of scatters the sunlight as it hits the netting. It scatters sunlight, which reduces its penetration on the plants. But it will be fine. Absolutely fine, no trouble whatsoever. And during the winter, when it winters in here, it does not succumb to mold or black spots, to which one of my Stapelia unicornis succumbs to that. When we might have the odd day, and not very many, where the humidity might climb up to 50 or 60%, and it gets these blotches on it. However, this one doesn't succumb to that at all. Humidity seems to be fine for it. It seems to be able to enjoy humid weather. But I doubt very much that it would like a wet winter. That's something that you would have to try it with, because we don't have wet winters here. The humidity is quite low, but it is cold out there. We do have 2 to 3 snowy days right at the end of winter, which gives you an idea of how cold it is. So it has not flowered yet. Maybe it needs to attain a little more size. But this plant is quite an amazing plant to look at. To initially cast your first eyes upon this plant would capture your attention very much. I'm pretty sure if you're a cactus lover, you would love Hoodia in your collection too. Anyway, thanks for listening and thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and we will see you again next time. Bye bye.